Okay, so the back history, because you're gonna have, you guys keep telling me to say about that day. My brother has been on.
But hold on,
Otherwise,
ma'am,
yeah,
can I tell, listen to me,
nobody
no,
wants-
stop, listen to me. Okay, Ms. Jacobs, there's a reason they're asking you about this
Yes.
day. We have these books and rules we have to follow.
I understand
And,
that.
okay,
So what I'm
well,
saying
no,
is-
don't talk,
wasn't
no, listen to me, Ms. Jacobs. I know, well, I'm trying to get, you're not gonna talk over me, it's in this courtroom, but listen, I'm trying to help you. Or at least make you
Okay, I need a
understand.
minute.
Okay, it's okay, take a sec. She
Jacob,
can-
until you guys go through it, you don't understand.
No, you can't go that way, can't go that way. You can't go, she can have a break, we'll give her a break, but she gotta go out the front of it, she can't go in the back area of the court.
Court Uncut, what the people want.
Okay, Madam Prosecutor, how many witnesses do you have?
3, Judge.
3 witnesses, okay. And Mr. Gizicki, I'm not asking about the defendant, but do you have any witnesses that you intend on calling?
No, yeah.
Okay,
And while that's getting signed, people do ask for a mutual sequestration order with exception to the officer in charge, Detective Mark Johnson. And I will note there's no one currently in the courtroom.
I have no objection to the officer reading it.
all right, so, there will be an order of sequestration with an exception for the officer in charge. And we can get started as soon as, all right, great.
Where to begin?
All right, Mr. Jacobs, Mr. Gizicki, Ms. So, no, this hasn't been dated. I'm just going to put today's date on it. It's February, what is today?
4th.
February 4th. Is everyone okay with that?
Yes, Judge.
That's right.
All right.
People call their first witness.
Well, wait 1 sec. Any opening statement?
Oh, people waive opening. Your
All right,
I'll
count.
do two.
All right, first witness.
People call Kayla Jacobs to the stand.
You have exhibits.
I do, Your Honor. I have 3 exhibits, 2 images and 1 video. I do have them marked. Would you prefer I give them to you as they're being admitted or now?
Hi, ma'am. If you can come on up. Ma'am, can you take a look at me and raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay, can you have a seat in that chair? Is it Miss Jacobs?
Yes.
Ma'am, can you start by saying your first and last name and then spelling your first and last name?
Kayla Jacobs, Kayla Jacobs.
Okay.
Your
You may.
Thank you. Ms. Jacobs, everything you're saying is being recorded, so I need you to answer with words, not ahas, mhm, or head shakes, okay?
Okay.
And I would like you to speak closer to the microphone in a loud voice so we can all hear you, all right?
Okay.
If at any point you don't understand a question or you need me to repeat it, just let me know, right? I'm gonna take you back to the date of December 27th, 2024, around 6 p.m. Were you at the location of the BP gas station at or near Beach Daily and Wick Road?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
And is that the city of Taylor County, Boyd?
Yes.
What, if anything, happened that day that brings you to court?
My brother was starting to punch me in my face, and then he did. So I was scared, and I pulled over into that gas station.
Okay.
I'm safe.
You indicated that your brother punched you in the face.
Yes.
If you were to see him here today in court, would you recognize him?
Yes.
May I ask you to take a look around the courtroom? If you see him here, point him out and identify an article of his clothing.
Yes. Right there with the green.
Let the record reflect that the witness has identified Justin Jacobs, the defendant.
The record shall so reflect.
I want to go back a little bit. At what point did this incident begin?
I would say it started earlier in the day. I came home early from work.
Around what time?
I'm gonna say about 4:30.
4:30 p.m. around that time? Okay, what happened when you got home?
He was erratic, screaming, saying he was gonna set the house on fire.
Okay. So I'm gonna stop you there before we get into that. Is this house located at 15722 West Lake Street in the city of Taylor, County of Wayne?
Listen,
Who else was present at that house
my
during then?
dad and my mother,
Those were the only two people there.
yes.
What, if anything, did you hear Mr. Jacobs say?
He was asking for ice, which was, or meth, and he was starting to set the house on fire, and
I don't want you to paraphrase what he said to you. I want you to use his exact words. So what in his words was he saying?
he said, I'm gonna kill everybody in this fucking house.
What else
And
did he say?
I need meth right now. He also said, I keep saying he's gonna set the house on fire, but it was just like, I'm going to set this house on
Did
fire.
he continue to repeat that?
Yes.
All right. And what was his demeanor like?
Very angry, erratic, screaming,
What,
scary.
what if anything did you do based on all of this?
I should call the situation and just said, let's go for a ride.
And what do you mean by that? Arrive where?
I didn't know where, honestly, in my head, I just wanted him away from my parents.
So just taking him out for a drive, okay? Where did you decide to go?
Well, he punched me so fast that I didn't really have a plan.
So
'Cause I
before,
didn't think that was gonna happen like that, so.
before we get into that, what road were you driving on?
I was on Eureka,
Okay,
and we live on Westlake, so it was like when we pulled off, and I did pull into a smoke shop. And, I think I was going to get cigarettes or something, I just pulled over into the smoke shop. Yes, and I came back out, and that's when he started asking me for meth.
what did he say when he asked you for meth? In
He
what
said,
words?
I want meth right now. I
And what
need
was
meth. I said, I don't have meth, I can't get that for you. And then he screamed about it a couple more times, and then he punched me in my face.
So,
And
once
then-
again, before we get to that, once you were done with the smoke shop, at that point, were you now on the road?
Yes,
You were driving.
yes, we're on Beach Daily at this.
Where
point.
was he seated?
Passenger,
So right next to you?
yes.
At what point did he, did things escalate and become physical?
About, I wanna say like, not even 10 minutes, 5 minutes after turning on the Beach Daily.
All right, how did they?
So from leaving the smoke shop to the road we were on, it was maybe not even 5 minutes.
Okay, and how did they become physical?
I told him I couldn't get meth
Okay, and then what was his reaction to that? Where did he punch you?
in my face.
What side of your?
Right here, on this side of the face.
Let the record reflect that she or the witness is pointing to the right side of her face near her eye and temple and right underneath her eye. So he punched you in your right eye and cheek area?
Yeah.
And how many times did he punch you?
He punched me, and then the second time, I don't necessarily think he punched me, I think he went to do it again, and it became a slap.
Okay,
And then after that, he grabbed my steering wheel.
so about a total of 2 times he made contact with your face. From 1 to 10, how hard would you say he hit you?
8.
Was it painful?
Yeah.
Okay. How did you feel in that moment?
Bad.
Okay, were you in
I
fear?
can't believe that he did that to me. Out of all people anyway, even though I know he's sick, but. I love him so much and I'm always on his side, so like.
So it took you by surprise? Okay. You indicated at some point he then, after the second contact with your face, he grabbed your steering wheel, is that correct?
Yes,
Can you talk to us about that? At what point did he grab the steering wheel?
right after he did the hitting.
And were you still operating on the road driving the
Yes.
car? What did he do when he grabbed the wheel?
He stopped, but he grabbed it and I took, like, I had my hand on it too. And I just said, I have to go to a gas station, relax, I'm going to a gas station so I can get the money, cause the way I calmed him down was telling him I was gonna get meth.
Okay, so I want to break this down a little
Was
bit.
that before you got in the car with him, while you were still at the house, you told him that?
No, I told him plenty of times I wasn't gonna get it, but then when he punched me, I told him I was going to,
Okay.
so he would calm down.
So when he grabbed the steering wheel, did he do anything with it at all?
I mean, it just jerked it, yeah, it jerked it to the more to the right,
At that point, were you in fear for your life?
yes.
How did you feel in that moment?
Yeah, I didn't know what he's gonna do, I mean, now I'm to the point where he's never even done this to me, and now I'm to the point where I'm like, this can't keep continuing. Cause now you just don't care, and I didn't know, the safest thing was for me to pull over.
So what did you tell him as you were pulling into the gas station?
I said I have to get money for the meth from the ATM.
Did you feel that calmed him down a little bit?
Yes,
Okay, what did you do once you got to the gas station?
I went into the gas station and called the police
Okay, why did you call the police?
because I was scared.
At some point, the police arrived,
Yes.
okay, and what happened next?
They arrested him. I told them I don't want him necessarily in trouble. Like, I didn't really know how to go about the situation, but needs help. And I just I didn't really know at that time, but he said for me to get anything really done, I'm gonna have to.
So I
press
need you to
charges.
limit your testimony to what you personally observed, okay, not what other people are telling you.
Okay, I just told him this, what happened.
To the officer?
Yeah, and then he arrested him. And then,
Okay,
he recommended me pressing charges. And,
okay. So at some point after the police arrived, where did you go next?
I had to drop his cane off,
Whose case?
my brother's,
Okay,
His
where
what
did-
off?
his cane.
Okay, a cane.
Yes.
I had to drop his cane
Where did you
off.
drop it off?
Actually went into the wrong entrance, but I went like towards the jail and then they retrieved it from my car and then I went home.
Okay, where were you dropping it off?
I was trying to drop it off at the jail, but I went into the wrong entrance.
Okay, and
When we say the jail, you mean next door to the police
Yeah.
department? Okay.
where did you go after that?
Home,
Those were the only places you went.
yes.
At some point, did you notice anything about your face?
It hurt, but honestly, I was in such shock that I didn't really look until I got home and then it was swelled up.
So I want you to describe, what do you mean by it was swollen?
It was just really puffy, like, I know I already have like a kind of a chubby face, but this whole part of my face was just not like huge, like not huge, but it hurt.
Which portion of your face, if you can
This,
show us?
well, right here was just really red
Okay.
and puffy.
Let the record
Right
reflect
cheek.
that she's pointing to her right cheek underneath her eye as well, okay?
Yeah.
Did your cheek look like that earlier in the day?
No,
Did you have any type of incident in between
no,
when he was in the car with you and then until you got home?
no.
Did this change in any way, this injury?
Oh, my mom noticed about a day, well, the next day I kind of seen it was
Objection
getting
to
better.
what his mother noticed.
You can't, well, she can tell me it in respect to
Yes.
like what she did.
I'm saying
in
because of my
response.
mom, that's what made me look at it.
So it does go to.
So
this
also,
effect on
just so
the-
your mom noticed something and you looked in the mirror.
Yeah,
All right, go
goes to
on.
effect on the listener.
so I looked in the mirror and I was like, it's getting kind of bad.
In what
And
way?
the next, I think it was maybe that night or the next day, I had her take a picture.
Okay, you said it's getting bad. In what way was it getting bad?
Just darker.
What do you mean by that? A bruise? Where
Yeah.
was this bruise?
Under my eye.
Okay, and then you indicated that your mom took a picture of this.
Yeah. I
How did
asked her to.
Okay, how did she take a picture?
I went in her room, I stood up and I said, I think we need to show them this.
Okay, did she use a camera? What did she use?
She used my phone.
Your phone. And after she took this picture, did you look at it
Yeah.
yourself?
Yeah.
Okay, and if I were to show you a copy of this picture, would you recognize it? Okay. May I approach, Your Honor?
You have continuing permission to approach.
Here. Okay, I handed you two pictures. Let's start with the first one. What if I just handed you?
What my face looked like about a day, a couple days later.
Okay, was this the picture that your mom took on your phone?
Yes.
Okay, does it appear to be altered or tampered with in any way?
No.
Okay, and there's a date on there, December 29th, 2024 at 6:16 PM in the city of Taylor. Does that seem accurate?
Yes.
Is that about the time this picture was taken?
Yes.
Does it appear to be tampered with or altered in any way?
No.
Okay, at this time, the people move for the admission of people's proposed exhibit 1.
Judge, for you for a
You
second.
may.
Dude, with this picture that was taken, was it taken by a phone or a camera or what?
A camera, iPhone,
iPhone? And you know what model the iPhone was?
iPhone 12.
I see. And I noticed on the one of the papers, I don't know if it's marked number 1. Yeah, the first one, can you see me holding up mark number 1?
You can approach as well.
Okay. Oh, you have the picture here, right here, on number 1. That date and time is up at the top. How'd you put the date and time? Date and time
I
at the
object to
top?
the mischaracterization of testimony. She never said she put the date on the top.
Well, how did the date get
Yeah, how
on
did
top?
they get on
You just click it on the top so you can, it comes with it, the picture.
Okay, but
So when you take a live picture on an iPhone,
Yeah.
they gives you the date, the time, the actual movement of when you did it.
okay, and on item number 2, page number 2 that's in front of you. There's no time on that.
Yes, because all you have to do is hold down the picture and it'll give you a representation of what time you took it at.
Did you download those pictures?
Yes, I did. No, I actually took them. They're not downloaded from anything. They're on my physical camera photo history from the actual
How
picture
did you take them?
with a camera iPhone.
Yeah, I mean, but you're the one that turned the camera around.
No, my mother took it.
So your mother took the picture, not
Yes.
you.
Yes,
Okay, and then who printed those pictures out?
I didn't. I sent them to my lawyer.
Pardon?
I sent them to my lawyer,
Okay, when did you send them to the prosecutor?
today.
Today?
Yes. But I stated that I had the pictures a day or like week after this
But you
came
sent them
out.
today, right?
Yes, I
That's
did.
all I want to know.
Okay, may I continue?
Yeah, any objection?
No, I think we'll go to the way to do this.
All right, they're admitted. Is it A and B or 1 and
It's
2?
1 and 2, Judge.
All right, 1 and 2 are
Now I'm gonna point
admitted.
your direction to the second image. If you could look at that, that's the same image, correct?
This one?
Yes.
Yeah,
And you have no control over the date and time of stamp of a picture?
no,
Is
not
that
on
just-
an iPhone, no.
It's automatic?
Yes.
Judge, may I publish to the court?
Yeah, please.
Okay, Kayla, can you tell us what these pictures are? I know it's one image, so we could just focus on the one without the date and time.
Okay,
What is this image of?
that's an image of me in my kitchen,
Okay, what is it depicting on your face?
on my black eye that I received from my brother.
And this was taken 2 days on the 29th after the incident?
I thought we took it the day after, but it might have been the day,
Okay.
2 days later.
Did you have a black eye previously to this incident?
I did not.
At any point from the day of the incident to the day you took this picture, did you have any type of injuries? Did you fall down or anything?
I didn't.
And to your knowledge, is there anything that could have caused this black eye? Based on your personal experience with yourself, what is the reason you had that black eye?
Because of my brother.
Because of your brother, what?
Because I was schizophrenic and probably don't even realize that he did it to me, but he did.
Did what? How did he cause that black eye?
His anger, his emotional, mental problems.
What part of his body did he connect with your
His
body?
hand.
All right,
Okay, so this is from when he punched you in the eye in the car.
Yeah.
I'm gonna retrieve these images. Nothing further.
Cross,
Yeah. Samples exhibits, please. Approach on it. Exhibit.
yeah, you have continuing permission.
I got a question for you. On the picture, on number 1, exhibit number 1, this top one in front of you. Shows on the right side of your eye, there's dark markings there, right? Is that makeup?
On my other eye,
No, on your right eye, on your right eye.
that's not makeup, that's no.
That's okay. Now, if you look at that page and also on page number 2, on your left eye, you have dark markings under that eye. Is that makeup?
No, I don't know, maybe bags for my eyes,
Pardon?
I don't know, no.
You don't know
Talking
what
about
makes
this-
those markings? Yeah, the mark on the left
No.
eye,
It's not makeup, I had no makeup on that day.
but it's got a dark mark.
I understand that might be bags for my eyes, or maybe old makeup from 2 days prior,
Or maybe old makeup, and it's sort of like the same shade as on your right eye.
maybe
I'm gonna
not.
object to argumentative.
No,
means
yeah,
no
it's not
opinion.
It's not argumentative, it's a leading question. He's allowed to answer leading questions. Ma'am, I just want you to both, Mr. Gazicki, Ms. Jacobs, like, it's cross-examination,
Right.
and he's got a right to do it. And he's got to do his job,
I understand,
okay?
but he's saying maybe that might be makeup under my
Well,
eye
you can-
completely, a whole
but look,
eyeliner.
Look, listen, you can say what you think, just answer the question. The prosecutor has a chance to come up and ask you more questions.
Okay.
Okay, and you cannot, the two of you cannot talk over each other because my court recorder has to take down everything you say. And if both of you are talking at the same time, it's just a cluster and it makes her job difficult. Okay, all right, Mr. Gazicki.
Just for clarification again, on the left eye, you indicated that may be old makeup?
On my left eye.
Yes. And, but the same marking on the right eye, that's not makeup?
No.
You indicate, does your brother live with you?
No,
On the day of this incident, he was over at the house, correct? And you indicated he asked you that he wanted meth. Has he asked you that in the past?
yes,
Have you gotten a meth?
no,
Have you ever taken him in a car to go get meth?
no,
On the day of this incident, when you said he was threatening to burn down the house and everything, were you scared?
yes,
You scared for your safety?
yes.
But,
But I still got in the car with him, yes.
but you didn't call the police or nothing, did you, at that time?
No, I didn't.
You know if anybody else may have called the police?
In the past, yes, but
No,
that,
no,
on
that
that
day,
day, no,
no. So you had problems in the past,
yes,
and when police were called to that house?
Is that a yes?
yes,
But on this day, they weren't called.
not until I got in the car.
He asked for meth and you took him in a car, telling him you told him to take him to get meth, correct?
Correct,
You also indicated that after the incident, you felt your face was getting puffy and everything, right? Did you take a picture then?
no, I didn't,
Did you go to the hospital?
no, I didn't,
Did you notice any marks on your face at that time?
not the day of, the next day,
That's the next day when you got the dark marks under your right eye? Do you know, going back to that left eye, when you use that makeup that sort of looks like the same shade?
Do not object again to mischaracterization of her testimony.
Right, I can look at the pictures, but I'm gonna let Mr. Gazicki has leeway. The pictures are right in front of me. I can see what I see. He has a right to ask questions.
Well, the dark markings under the left eye, was that the makeup that day or what?
I didn't put any makeup on that day, so that might have been makeup maybe prior from the day before, or it might have just been bags under my eyes.
Okay, the day, either or, right?
Right,
The day before, did you put makeup on your right eye?
I don't think so, no,
No, you don't know for sure.
no, I don't recall,
Apparently though, if you put on makeup the day before, you didn't wash it off your face because there's still markings on your left eye, correct?
I don't know,
You indicated that, do you have your cell phone with you now?
no,
Do you still own that cell phone?
yes,
Yeah, I just received this pictures today. They're emailed to me along with some other evidence yesterday. I didn't, if I had received this earlier, I would ask to take a look at her phone, just so her pull up any picture, because I've never seen a caption like that on
I can
a
have the phone
picture.
brought,
Excuse me, I'm talking to the judge.
I know, so was I. I can
All right,
have the phone
wait,
brought.
wait.
So what I was
I mean,
asking, since I just received this today, technically, if we could adjourn this matter so she can bring in her phone, and I'd like just to verify that this is the type of picture that comes out that phone.
You don't have to respond, no. But she said she can make a call and get her phone up here. We're not adjourning, we're having
Oh, okay,
one
can she
no
make a
trial.
call? Can she
You
make a
can,
call?
you can make a call and get someone to bring that phone up. Do we have another witness?
We do.
All
I
right,
mean,
so
her
we
phone
can,
is-
Yeah,
In
my
my
phone's in the.
oh, it's in the building.
Yeah, I'm
She
sorry, I
just
thought
can't
you
bring
meant
it into the
physically.
Oh, okay, it's here.
Yeah,
All right, can we get her phone? And if you're gonna have her open her phone, I'm.
Well, she can pick any picture she wants. I just want to see if it has the same type of caption.
Are you saying you just hold the picture down and it'll show
it'll
you?
show, yeah, I literally had just did it earlier when I sent it to her, because she's like, can you show me the date it was taken? I was like, yeah, and I held it down and it sent it to her.
No, she can do that to any picture, just,
Ms. Soap, do you wanna come up so we can all see this happen?
Is your phone?
she can take a selfie of herself right now and do it. I'd be happy with it. Unfortunately.
No, yeah. Can you just take a live pic
Yeah,
now?
just take a selfie.
Yeah,
And that way we can just see it
okay,
works.
You can take a picture of the Evan.
yeah,
Yeah, it doesn't even have to be you.
okay.
All right, so she just took a pic.
It says today, but then tomorrow it'll say the date,
See how, Mr. Gazicki?
but but tomorrow
Okay, all right,
it'll say the actual date,
I
because it
wasn't
says
familiar
today.
with that camera. with
It's
that.
because it's a live.
It's because it's a live
Yeah,
photo.
so that picture I took was a live photo.
And then just for clarification, I sort of lost track of everything here, but you said in the past, or your brother has asked you to get him meth.
Yes.
Did you ever take him in a car then? Pardon?
No.
Wait, did you ever take him for a car ride, or did you ever take him for a ride to get meth?
No, I've never took them in the car to get drugs.
Okay, I have no further questions.
Redirect.
Thank you, Your Honor. Kayla, Mr. Gazico was just asking you about that picture of the black eye, correct? Were you wearing makeup on that eye that day?
No,
Was that dark shadow around your eye, was that makeup?
no,
You're absolutely certain of this?
yes.
Miss So, you can continue asking questions, but I can look at this photograph and make my own assessment. I know what a black eye looks like, and I'm a woman. I also know what makeup looks like the next morning, and I can discern the difference between the two of those.
Okay, Your Honor.
You're free to ask more questions, but I don't think you need to. I get it.
And I'm gonna take you back to when Justin was at your house. At some point, was he living at your house?
Okay, so the back history, because you're gonna have, you guys keep telling me to say about that day, my brother has been on.
But hold on,
The
ma'am,
ones-
can I tell, wait, listen to
no,
me,
he
no,
was-
stop, listen to me.
Okay.
Okay, Miss Jacobs, there's a reason they're asking you about this
Yes.
day. We have these books and rules we have to follow,
I understand
and,
that.
okay,
So what I'm
well,
saying
no,
is-
don't talk,
Was it
no, listen to me, Miss Jacobs. I know, well, I'm trying to get, you're not gonna talk over me, it's in this courtroom, but listen, I'm trying to help you, or at least make you
Okay, I need a
understand.
minute.
Okay, it's okay, take a sec, she
Because
can.
until you guys go through it, you don't understand.
No, you can't go that way, can't go that way. You can't go, she can have a break, we'll give her a break, but she gotta go out the front of it, she can't go in the back area of the court.
We just have the record reflect that she left the courtroom.
She got off the witness stand and walked away after telling us she needed a break.
After the sister of the defendant gets emotional and storms off the stand to take a break. She does briefly return for just over 1 minute as seen in this clip, but the audio is muted and they move on to the next witness. Believe me, we wish we could have heard the rest of her testimony as well.
Ms. Jacobs, when you get up here, can you face me and raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Okay, if you could have a seat in that chair, and if you can start by saying your first and last name and then spelling your first and last name.
Vicky Jacobs, Vickie Jacobs.
Okay, your witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Jacobs, everything in this courtroom is being recorded and there is someone typing it as we speak. We need to be able to hear you. So when you're responding to a question, use yes or no's or words, not ahas, or head shakes, okay?
Yep.
And I would like for you to speak closer to the microphone in a loud, clear voice so we can all hear you, okay?
Okay.
I'm gonna take you back to the date of December 27th, 2024, around 4 to 5 p.m. Were you at the location of 15722 West Lake Street?
Yes, I was.
And is that in the city of Taylor, County of Wayne?
Yes.
What, if anything, happened that day that brings you to court?
Justin was in psychosis. He was yelling and screaming and
Objection,
threatening
Your Honor.
Who's Justin?
my son.
So I'm gonna ask you, you indicated that someone named Justin, there was an incident with someone named Justin. If you were to see him here today, would you recognize him?
Yeah.
Ask you to take a look around the courtroom. If you see him here, point him out and identify an article of clothing.
Justin.
Let the record reflect that the witness has identified defendant Justin Jacobs.
The record shall so reflect.
How do you know Justin?
He's our adopted son.
Okay. How long have you known him?
Since birth, he was the biological son of my brother.
All right. And at some point, was he living with you?
He was living with us up until December of 22.
Okay, and when you say living with us, who are you referring to?
My husband, myself, and Kayla,
And that would be, who's Kayla to you?
adopted daughter.
Okay.
objection on the relevance on all this? I mean,
She's establishing familial relationships. It's one of the elements of count one. I think it's appropriate. Go ahead.
All right, you indicated that on that day, Justin was at your house, is that correct?
Correct.
What happened that day that brings you to court?
The whole day or just,
So let's focus around 4 to 5 p.m.
okay.
Okay, so at that time, on that day, what was happening?
Yelling and screaming, telling my husband and I that he was gonna murder us.
Okay,
He
So-
said, I'm gonna burn this fucking house down.
I'm gonna stop you right there. Who else is with you at that house?
At that point, just myself and my husband.
Okay, at some point, did Kayla arrive to the house?
Yes, I had texted Kayla and she came home about between 4 and 5.
Okay. So what happened? What else was he saying?
Just a threatening, and he went after my dog a couple of times. And
Okay, so when you
screaming.
say he's threatening, in his own words, I don't want you to paraphrase.
Thank
Tell
you.
me,
Using that language.
Hey, I know it's a courtroom though, and we're making a record. I won't judge you based on what you
Thank you.
say. I need to know exactly, and the record needs to know.
okay, so tell us in his own words, what was he saying?
I'm gonna burn this fucking house down, shut the fuck up, just shut your fucking mouth, you're nothing but a bitch. I'm not gonna say it, but he said the C word,
Okay,
sorry.
How,
I have to say it.
I need you to say the sentence that he said. I mean,
So in what way did he
did he
say it?
use it in a sentence?
He just calls me a
okay. At any point, was he making demands?
for meth, he kept asking for meth, he kept asking for ice.
So I want you, without
Oh,
paraphrasing, I want it in his own words, what was he saying?
I need some ice, I need ice now, get me some ice.
Okay, did you know
Dad.
what ice was?
No, that's why I said, what in the heck are you talking about? He said, meth, meth.
All right. At some point, did things escalate even further?
Just yelling and screaming, and that's when Kayla came home.
Okay. What happened when Kayla came home?
She was able just to speak to him for a minute, and he calmed him down enough where she thought she would take him for a ride.
Okay. So before Kayla left the house, did you notice any markings on her face?
No,
At what point did she come back home?
a couple hours later, maybe like 7 to 8 o'clock.
Okay, so at some point she left with Justin, is that correct?
Correct.
When she returned home, did she come home alone?
Yes.
Okay. Did you notice anything on her face at that point?
Yeah, the one side of her face was red and swollen.
Okay, do you recall if it was the left or right side of her face?
I can't think right now, I'm sorry.
Okay. Can you describe to us what you noticed on her face?
Pardon me?
What did you notice on her face?
That there was swelling and it was really red.
Okay, do you remember what area of her face?
Like it was all right here down the cheek.
Let the
It was
record
red.
reflect, she's indicating the right side of her cheek and underneath the right eye.
Yes.
The
Okay,
record shall so reflect.
thank you, Your Honor. At some point, did this marking change?
But then I think it was the next day, the afternoon, she came and she said, I can't believe my face, the swelling's down, but it's bruised. And I said, well, let me see your eye. And she turned to me
objection,
and,
Your Honor, that's all you're saying, what she said.
All right, you can't have,
oh,
it's okay, but,
Yeah.
sustained.
And
You
we
can
can-
try and ask another way.
In your own perspective, what did you personally see on Kayla's face?
I saw it, the underneath her eye was bruised and still red.
Let the record reflect that she's pointing underneath her right eye. Okay.
Record shall so reflect.
Bruised in what way?
So a little bit like black and bluish.
Okay. And was it like that before?
No,
To your knowledge, did she have any type of injury at the house?
no,
Did she have any type of injury that you know of before that bruise?
no.
Okay. And did you end up taking a picture for Kayla?
Yes, I did.
If I were to show you a copy of this picture, would you recognize it?
Yes, I would.
Your Honor, may I approach? Showing her People's Admitted Exhibit 2. What have I just handed you?
That's Kayla. And that was her eye that was a little black and blue and her still
Okay.
red face.
And does that seem accurate as to how it looked in person?
Oh, yes.
Okay, to your recollection, and you live with Kayla, correct? To your recollection, how many days or how long did it take for that bruise to completely go away?
Actually, actually just took it, I'm gonna say 3 or 4.
After 3 or 4 days?
Mhm.
Did she have a black eye for those 3 or 4 days?
Yep, but she was covering up with makeup to go to work.
Yeah, but did you ever see her at home without makeup?
Yes,
Okay, and when she did not have any makeup on, was it still bruised
I
underneath?
could still see it.
I'm gonna retrieve this image. Nothing further.
Cross.
The day of this incident, when Justin here was yelling about burning the house down and stuff, you said you called Kayla then, is that correct?
But we were texting all throughout the day.
Yeah, and Kayla showed up after he got done making all these threats, correct?
No, I think he was saying.
Only if you remember, man.
He was, but I don't remember what context. I don't remember what he said.
Once
Okay.
she got home.
When Kayla got home, you don't
Yes.
remember what he said?
He started yelling and screaming again, but then he calmed down
He calmed down when Kayla came home? Or
after she spoke to him,
Pardon?
after she spoke to him.
And but when she walked in the door, she immediately started speaking to him. Is that how it happened or what? Let me say that when Kayla came home, you had been texting her, telling her what's been going on,
Yes.
right?
Correct.
Do you recall if Kayla just went directly up to Justin?
I'm sorry, I can't remember.
Okay, that's fine. That's just been a while. Okay. I'm sure the facts of this day, they sort of disappear after a while, correct?
Kind of,
Yeah. But you don't have full recollection what happened on that day.
not that specific at that point.
Okay. I have no further questions, Jenna.
Any redirect?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Can your witness be excused? We all set? All right,
Yes.
ma'am, thank you. You're all set. You can step out in the hallway.
Their last witness, Corporal Tyler Peak, to the stand.
Okay. Sir, can you face me and raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Okay, officer, can you sit down, start by saying your first and last name, and then your witness?
Please state and spell your name.
Tyler Peak, TYLERPEAKE.
Mr. Peak, how are you currently employed?
Corporal with the Taylor Police Department.
All right, and were you working in that capacity on the date of December 27th, 2024, around 6 p.m.?
Yes,
And were you in full uniform or unmarked uniform?
full uniform,
Fully marked vehicle or partially marked?
fully marked.
And your duties take you to the location at or near Beach Daily Wick Road, the BP gas station?
Yes,
Okay, with the city of Taylor County going?
yes.
All right, what if anything took you to that location?
I was dispatched for a police run involving a brother-sister assault that had taken place.
All right, and did you make contact with anyone when you made on the scene?
I made contact initially with the defendant in the case.
Okay, and if you were to see this individual here today, would you recognize them?
Yes,
I'm going to ask you to take a look around the courtroom. If you see that person here, point them out and identify an article of their clothing.
a gentleman sitting over there in the green shirt.
All right, for the record reflect that the witness has identified defendant Justin Jacobs.
The record shall so reflect.
Thank you, Your Honor. Did you make contact with anyone else on the scene?
I then made contact with the victim in the case, yes.
All right, and were you wearing body cam, or excuse me, a body camera at the time?
Yes, it was.
Was it recording?
Yes, it was.
Was it working?
Yes,
If I were to show you a clip from that camera, would you recognize it?
yes.
All right, playing on the screen via screen share on Zoom, a clip starting at 0 minutes and 20 seconds. To your recollection, is this your camera?
Yes,
Being
it is.
paused now? And does it appear to be altered or tampered with any way?
No,
Does it appear to be a fair and accurate depiction of the events of that night?
yes,
There is a date and time on here. I'm just trying to get this out of the way. Have a minute. It's the date of December 27th, 2024, 1800 hours, 9 minutes and 53 seconds. Does that seem to be correct?
Yes,
Okay, is the time and date on your body camera correct?
yes.
Right. At this time, people move for people's proposed exhibit 3.
Mr. Gazicki, any objection?
No, that's the first time seeing it, no objection.
Okay,
Okay.
is it admitted, Your Honor?
It's admitted.
Okay, I'm going to begin playing this video at 0 minutes and 56 seconds.
Change of plans, okay? I can't legally sign him in because he has told me that he is not homicidal or suicidal. This is what we're gonna do, okay?
Come to my house.
Do you want to press charges against him for hitting you?
That's the only way you're gonna keep him?
No, he's going. I'm just gonna tell you, he's going to jail anyway. Because it is domestic violence.
That's
okay?
fine. He can't come to my house.
But do you want to press charges? I just have to notate that for my report. He will still be in jail tonight and until tomorrow,
Till tomorrow.
at the very least. Okay.
Mom, what should I do?
That's at the very least. I'm good. He's gonna go.
What should I do?
I'm good. He's going to jail.
They got it.
Objection.
I'll just, for my report, I'll just say that you.
Not the relevance on this, I mean, I think this is after the fact.
Is it, let me ask, is the entire footage that I'm watching his or the officer's interaction with Miss Jacobs?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay,
I mean, relevance is a low burden. It's just to make something more or less likely to be true. This is her immediate reaction on the scene, and it's entirely relevant. Her demeanor.
I mean, is
the
it
way
an
she acted.
excited utterance that you're trying to get? I mean, she's here, she's subject to cross, Mr. Gazicki. She can certainly be recalled. But I guess, what am I going to, I mean, give me an offer,
Her
proof on what I'm
demeanor.
going to see.
Just her demeanor after the fact or very closely thereafter.
Okay, what I'm concerned about is the, whatever might be said, I mean, if it's relevant and it's an excited utterance, I don't think there's necessarily an issue with that. But I mean, if it's just for me to see that she's upset, I mean, I see that,
Okay.
right? I mean, I'm concerned because I don't know if we need to take a 5-minute recess. So the entirety of that portion, you and Mr. Gazicki can go watch that together, because what I don't want to do, I don't know how long it is, and I don't want to be stopped every 10. If we're watching it,
Yeah.
we're watching it, but Mr. Gazicki, I feel like you're gonna have difficulty even making your objections. It's gonna be jumping up every 5 seconds. So why don't you two go watch the video, and then you two can both make a record of what's on there, what I need to see, if what we're fighting about and what we're not.
Yes, Your Honor, and it won't be the video in entirety. It's just to from 56 seconds to 3 minutes and 10 seconds. It won't be the entire video.
All right, well, it shouldn't take you guys long. A matter of fact, how about this? If the witness can leave the courtroom, sir, if you can leave the courtroom, I will leave the courtroom. And we'll go off record, Miss Maudlin, and the two of you can watch this video and then just let us know when you're ready for us to come back out. Okay, and that way you don't have to move and figure it out. Okay, Miss Maudlin, they're off the record so they can have their discussions.
Yeah, I never committed the crime.
All right, 1 second.
Are you resting, Miss So?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Gazicki.
Yes, Your Honor, I advised Mr. Jacobs on his right that he does not have to testify, it can't be held against him. He wishes to waive that right, take stand. Your Honor.
Is that correct, sir?
I never committed the crime.
No, listen to
yes or
me.
no?
Listen, sir, no, you listen to me
Okay.
and answer my question. You understand you have a constitutional right to remain silent.
Yes, ma'am.
So, and I can't use it against you. If you don't, we need to make sure you understand this. You understand that if you don't testify, I can't use your refusal to testify against you. Do you understand that?
To testify is could you explain that terminology to me?
To go on.
Have you
stand.
seen what the witnesses have done? Where you could go up on the witness stand and promise to tell the truth, and then both lawyers can ask you questions?
I'm sorry, I just don't really get in trouble, and to testify would be to defend myself,
Yeah, okay.
if I.
Let's take a second. I want you,
Fine.
look, I hear you. Listen, I need you to, you have a right to remain silent. I don't want you to say anything to me that get you in trouble. Mr. Gazicki is going to go talk to you and explain it to you a little bit. That's your lawyer. He's here for you. So go talk to Mr. Gazicki. We'll let him go in the back for a few minutes.
Yeah.
All right, Madam Prosecutor.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Jacobs is charged with 2 counts. 1 count domestic violence for the assault on Kayla Jacobs, and count 2 being assault and battery upon Kayla Jacobs. Beginning with the domestic assault, the people do have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant, Mr. Jacobs, assaulted and battered Miss Kayla Jacobs. A battery being the forceful, violent, or offensive touching of a person or something closely connecting with that person. And the touching must have been intended by the defendant, not accidental, and against that complainant, the victim's will, so Ms. Jacobs. And then the assault being the attempt to commit a battery or an act that would cause a reasonable person to fear or apprehend an immediate battery. Here we heard testimony today from Ms. Jacobs that while she was in the car, Mr. Jacobs punched her once in the face and then slapped her again. She indicated that she was in fear at this point and that she did not even expect to be assaulted in that way or to have been harmed in that way, but that contact was made. She indicated that this is not something she wants. This is very out of character for Mr. Jacobs, and she was offended by this touching, this assault on her face, or the battery on her face. Secondly, that at the time, Ms. Jacobs, at the time, was a resident or former resident, while Mr. Jacobs, as we heard testimony, at some point did live with Miss Kayla. At some point, they are siblings. At some point, they did live together and were residents of the same household and are siblings. Third, and then moving on, that suffices the domestic violence incident. However, there's more to it. You know, typically with these cases, they're he said, she said, very circumstantial, and there's not much physical evidence. But today we heard testimony that, and we even saw in the video, there was no markings on her face at the time of the incident. But by the time she got home, even her mom, Miss Vicky Jacobs, told us she noticed her cheek was red. It was swollen. At no point did she go anywhere from the time of the incident until she got home. She went from the gas station, dropped off Mr. Jacobs' cane at the Taylor jail, and then went home. From that time, she didn't go anywhere else, didn't have any injuries or accidents that would have caused this besides the incident that occurred in the vehicle. Once she got home, she noticed her face was red. A day, 2 days later, she and her mom noticed that now she has a bruise underneath her eye, a black eye. And we looked at these images in People's Proposed Exhibit 1 and 2, where you can see that, you know, under her right eye and around the outer corner, it is a black eye. The other eye, although there's like some potentially smeared makeup, or as she said, dark eye bags, it's not the same. There's no other black eye, it's only this one, and it's a very stark contrast. So for that, we heard testimony that no time in between did she occur any other incidents that could have caused the black eye besides this incident of being punched and hit in the face by Mr. Jacobs. Count 2, it's the assault or assault and battery. Once again, the elements for that being that the defendant committed a battery on Kayla Jacobs, and second, that the defendant intended either to commit the battery upon Kayla Jacobs or to make her reasonably fear an immediate battery. Once again, he did batter her. He put his hands on her face. That's offensive, unwanted touching. She was even in fear that another battery would come, so the assault occurred as well.
Ms. Sobe, I have a question though. These are in the alternative, right? These 2 counts. I mean, they have the exact same elements except for the one, you know, I mean, to me, assault and battery is a lesser included of domestic violence. So my I don't think that I have any authority. I mean, I can't convict him of both. I mean, would you agree?
I agree, Judge. We would then be moving on the domestic violence, and in the alternative, if you don't find that we've proved our case beyond a reasonable doubt, you would move and convict on the count of assault and battery.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Gazicki?
I agree, you can't be convicted of both, Your Honor.
Okay, do you have anything you want to say are you done with closing?
Just that we would ask you find Mr. Jacobs guilty, as we've proven our case beyond a reasonable doubt, given the testimony of Kayla Jacobs, the mother, Vicky Jacobs' testimony corroborating Kayla's testimony, as well as her demeanor at the time of the incident. You know, her goal was not to have her brother arrested. You can see when he tells her he's getting arrested, she starts to cry and is asking her mom, what do I do? She just didn't know how to react in the situation, and we feel that her demeanor at the time of and her testimony corroborates the story and proves it beyond a reasonable doubt, and we ask for a guilty verdict. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Gazicki?
Yes, Your Honor, everything boils down, obviously, to credibility of the witnesses, and in all due respect, Kayla Jacobs' mother admitted she does not recall the exact facts of what happened on that day. So I would ask that her testimony sort of not be given the weight of a credible or a witness that has full recollection of what happened. As to Kayla Jacobs, that's a whole different story. You know, I questioned her about the markings on the photograph, about, you know, why the left eye had the same dark, you know, spots on it, not as prevalent on the right eye. And I questioned whether that was makeup. She admitted makeup from the day before, but that the right eye was not makeup. And yet her mother did testify, we're gonna take any part of the testimony, is that Kayla has been trying to cover up that mark on her eye with makeup. So it's a question of, you know, how much do you really weight do you give to that photograph? You know, it's easy for anybody to say, hey, based on your X amount of years of experience, I know a black eye when I see it, but there's been no medical testimony that that's a black eye. And I could sit here too and say after 19 years, law enforcement, a couple of years special assistant prosecutor, 40 years as attorney, I can't discern if that's a real black eye or not. So the thing boils down to credibility of what Miss Kayla Jacobs tried telling the court. She got all upset when I started questioning her about that because she didn't know how to answer it. So, you know, obviously, you know, they could have had 1,000 reasons why she was crying or so on. But I just basically say that just her lack of credibility in describing this so-called injury sort of brings into question all of her testimony. And I'd ask the court to find the defendant not guilty.
Rebuttal.
Yes, Your Honor. Aside from speculation and personal beliefs, just looking at this image, it's very distinct and different from her left eye.
You do not have to talk to me about the
Okay,
photograph.
Your Honor. Going to credibility and motive, as Mr. Gizicki pointed out, I think based on her testimony, the mother's testimony, and then the video, everything corroborates exactly what she's saying. Her demeanor of being afraid and shaking up, her mother telling us about the injury from that date. While she doesn't have exact memories of specific questions Mr. Gizicki asked, her memory was completely fine as to the events that happened and the markings on Kayla's face. We heard no testimony that proves anything else. So the people do ask that you find Mr. Jacobs guilty because we have proven her case beyond a reasonable doubt. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, so I've heard all of the evidence here today. I heard from Kayla Jacobs. Kayla Jacobs testified that on the date at issue, which was December 27th of 2024, she got off work around 4 or 4:30 and went to her home right around that time at 15722 Westlake in the city of Taylor. She was there, her mother, her dad, and her brother, who she identified as the defendant, Justin Jacobs, were all present in the home. She testified when she went into the house that Justin Jacobs was screaming, "I'm going to kill everyone. I'm going to set this house on fire. I need ice or meth." And she indicated that she talked to him and said, "I'll take you for a ride." And she got him to calm down, get in the car with him. They went to a smoke shop, where she went to presumably buy cigarettes. And when she came out, he began asking her for meth again. She began to drive the vehicle. At that point, he punched her on the right side of his face once, her face one time, and after that, he slapped her in her face, at the same location on the right side of her face. After that, he grabbed the steering wheel and she was in fear for her life. After the face punch, she testified that she told him, okay, I'll get you meth. And she said she had to go to a gas station so she could take money out of an ATM. While there, she called 911, called the police to let them know where she was and what had happened. She testified after talking to the police and Mr. Jacobs being taken into custody, she dropped his cane off at the police department and then she went home. She said her face was hurt, and photographs, exhibits 1 and 2 were admitted, that were taken 2 days after the incident that shows an injury to the right side of her face. I can clearly look at these photos and tell that's not makeup. It's a black eye. I can see that there might be either a circle or maybe day-old eyeliner or mascara on the other eye, but it's clear to me that's a black eye. It's so clear to me, especially in the larger photo where you can see the purple, the yellow, the redness in the cheek area. I'll also say that I have dark circles, so I know how you cover up a dark circle and you don't use mascara, right? If this was her covering up an eye injury or using makeup to cover it up, she would have had some concealer or something that would have made it look less dark. I find her testimony, she's emotional. I get it. This is her brother, and it sounds like the family's at their wits' end and they don't know what to do. And she's frustrated and she's, upset and she loves him. I mean, all of that came clear to me. It was abundantly clear that, when she got a little wild up on the stand, that it's not what we hope a witness will do, but these are emotional. This is a challenging case, right? And it sounds like the circumstances are really difficult. And she also testified the brother doesn't live there now, but he had previously lived in the home with her mother, and her father. We also heard from Vicki Jacobs, the adoptive mother of both the complainant in this case as well as the defendant. She testified that on the date and incident prior to her daughter coming home, Justin, her son, who she identified as the defendant, was in the house screaming, saying he's going to burn the house down, get me ice, get me meth, bitch, called her names that she didn't want to say on the stand. And that she'd been texting with Kayla. I don't know what Kayla's relationship generally is with Jacob, but I get the impression from the testimony that they're siblings, or they appear to be close in age, and she thought that if anyone could get through to him, maybe Kayla would. So Kayla came home. She testified Kayla got home very consistently with Kayla's testimony that would have been around 4 or 4:30. And that she couldn't remember exactly what he was screaming or what he was doing when Kayla Jacobs came home. But Vicki Jacobs was clear that there was still some sort of outburst from the defendant. She also testified, the things that she testified to him saying are exactly the things that Kayla testified to hearing as well. She then testified, Kayla said she'd take him for a ride, and she returned home sometime around 7 or 8. And at that time, she noticed that one side of Kayla's face was red and swollen, and that she herself saw the bruising under the eye, and testified that it took a few days, 3 to 4 days, to clear up afterwards. I found both Kayla Jacobs and Vicki Jacobs' testimony to be very credible. I don't think they were lying. And the jury instructions are very clear that, while there is corroborating evidence in this case, I can convict on the testimony of one witness alone. And here I had two who told consistent stories, highly consistent stories. And, there's also photographs that to me clearly show a black eye. The elements for domestic assault, I do find that a battery was made upon Kayla Jacobs and that she is a resident or former resident of the defendant's household. There's a familial relationship between them. And so, I mean, I have to choose between counts. They're both 93-day misdemeanors with a fine of $500, but I do find that the elements for domestic violence were met, so the defendant will be convicted of 1 count of domestic violence. Okay.
$500 fine too.
No, that's the man.
It's and or, so the fine is not what I'm concerned about. Here's my concern, Mr. Gazicki. It's clear to me from the testimony that Mr. Jacobs suffers from either a substance use disorder, a mental health disorder, or both. And I'm not sure which one is the primary one. So I have choices. I can put you in jail. Mr. Jacobs, you listening to me? I could just come stand up. Let's do this right. Here are my options. I can put you in jail for 93 days, which I don't think is going to really solve anything, right? Or I can figure out whether or not you can be accepted into a mental health program. The issue is, I don't know if that you've got a stable place to live or where you're living. And if you're in a mental health program, you've got to have an address. You gotta have a place to live.
Well, I was planning when the last court session we had, when you were like, oh, the personal bond, and you forgot to make me aware of the police presence with me. I was gonna go to the shelter and maybe call a couple friends or other family members. Well, that's my plans right now, I guess.
Well, I mean, here's my options. He's going back into custody today, pending sentencing. But I mean, Mr. Gazicki, we're gonna have to talk to the department. Stand up, stand up, stand up,
Disabilities.
stand up.
I seriously have disabilities.
Oh, you use a cane. Does he have a disability? He needs to sit down? All right, prosecutor says yes, family says no. Listen to me. We're gonna talk to probation and see if he can be referred for mental health court, but in order for you to be eligible for any kind of probation, you need an address. I need to know where you'd stay, and I know where you're not staying. You're not staying at that house with those two ladies. So if you can find a place to stay, I'm tempted, inclined to just move this out a week or so, come back, see if there's an address that if someone will let him reside there, see if he's eligible for a treatment court program. I think mental health is probably more appropriate based on my assessment. I'm no doctor, but
You do a pre-sentence report?
yeah, we'll do a PSI on him.
If I may, Your Honor, just upon my extensive conversations with the complaining witness and her mother, they have indicated that their main interest is making sure he's getting the help he needs based on his mental health and potential alcohol and substance abuse. Further, their second concern is making sure that they're safe because they do fear the threats of him burning the house down and harming them, that there might be some credence when he's untreated. So those are the two concerns that they have. They want him to get help, but they also want to make sure that he does not come back home. So,
well, that, here, let me say this. Here, there are a few problems with this case. It's a 93-day misdemeanor in Wayne County. If I give him 93 days, he's out in 60. So he's out in 2 months, period. That's happening. If that, right? If I get him into a mental health court, he's got to comply. And there's nothing to tell, I don't have a crystal ball. And I can say as a judge, you can't go there. You can't contact either of them, but it's only good if people listen to me,
yeah.
right?
Just for the court, realize he's been in custody already 32 days. So.
And the people are not asking that he remain in custody based on.
He doesn't have any place to go. I'm not gonna release him to try and get him in mental health court. He's gonna show back up at their house.
Go to the shelter?
No,
I can't go to the shelter?
no, I'm not letting you out today, period.
Well, I mean, just for a separate address, not.
No, when you
Oh,
find,
then
no, because I'm likely gonna put you on tether as a bond condition while you're being assessed for another court program. But I mean, time is of the essence because I can only give him 93 days, so we have to decide this soon. Here's what we're doing. 17th, we're closed. Amy, is the 19th.
The 19th is their state.
We're gonna come back on the 19th. I'm gonna have a pre-sentence investigation done, see what they recommend. If you can contact someone while you're in county and try and find a friend or family member.
I asked for the touchscreen tablets almost every day. I asked for toothpaste and a toothbrush almost every day. I tried to get a phone call in for my glasses. I know y'all have my glasses. Maybe my dad can bring them. I'm not sure. I was really, really under stress. They would always put me on lockdown. I wouldn't even be in an argument. A lot of issues in Wayne County.
Oh, I'm aware of that, but I don't have an option, sir. I mean, you just got,
Same.
all right, I've heard everything you need to say. I'll see everyone back on the 19th, and at that point, he'll have met with probation. I'll have a pre-sentence report, which indicates whether or not they think he is appropriate for some sort of treatment court program. And if they say no, then he'll be incarcerated for the time I can give him. But I'll say, it's very sad because we don't have mental health in this country, and people rely on the criminal justice system and no fault of their own to solve these kinds of problems, and judges' hands are tied because there's only so much I can do.
We have the file marked medical.
File will be marked medical. And we'll return on the 19th at 10 a.m. Yes, sir, 2 weeks.
Yes.